Alrighty, welcome. This is Studio Week 4. This week I have notes for Chroma or Orange Pot. You see our video right here, Frankopotamus versus Orange Pot. They did a first to three. Chroma, I'll be calling them Chroma here, that's what their name is in Discord. Chroma is playing as this Testament here. I've actually been able to play against Chroma a few times, ran into them randomly on ladder the other day, and we played a longer set, as well as we played, I think, twice at our local before. For sure, once at I believe at the last local we played. Um, when we last played, it looked like Chroma had a lot of great ideas, but so far I think they're not playing. They're playing Testament at first and matchups second, and I think that is something that might come into play here. I haven't seen any of this footage yet. On the spreadsheet I have, so this is the second week, we're doing what I'm working on this week. Chroma has listed that they are focusing on punishing whiffs and resets over playing offense. Um, it's going to be a little tough to punish whiffs from Baiken specifically, far slash being a big offender, jump ins being really strong as well. Kabari surprisingly difficult to whiff punish, and when it is on block, you are forced into the RPS situation, whether they do the H Kabari follow up or maybe not reset, but steal their pressure. I think that's going to be perhaps focusing on the resets over playing offense. Um, Specifically the Frankopotamus matchup. Is very passive on the Kabari turn steals, I guess. Maybe not. Maybe passive is the wrong word. Frank is often going for H Kabari into Far Slash or something, but not often threatening the follow up. That out of the way, let's move in. As always, I'm going to think about round starts here. A lot of Testament players I see favoring like I-80 back, H Gravedigger. Far Slash is a present threat, but maybe different against Baiken, as Baiken always has Far Slash as a really powerful round start option. So Baiken round start options being like JD, Far Slash, 2S, 2H, H Kabari, backing off. Baiken has a lot of really great aggressive round starts, and Testament really wants to control. So let's see what's going on here. As always, I'm going to be taking notes in conjunction. That was already pretty healthy round start here. I have no issue with it. I think it was just playing the RPS pretty smartly. I'm not sure how Far Slash interacts with that. 2S seems to be perhaps low enough to get around. Frankopotamus, of course, walking back. And we don't have any sort of buffer. That was very good. Just some things to think about maybe here. I'm not sure the startup of Escabari, but going off super early, I'm going to check Dustloop. Going into Escabari really early is establishing that threats to think about for the rest of the set. This is the first round of a first to three set. Scrolling through Dustloop. Escabari. 31 frames to startup. Let's see. This is early, and this is like 005. Kabari, the tether, is 31 frames of startup. Take some time in training mode with recordings and see if you can improve your reactions and answers. You get a free jump out of Escabari. I'm really bad at it too, so I don't blame Chroma at all here. But definitely something that we can train up to think about. There's that H Kabari turn steal. That's just getting hit by the mix here. All right, this is, we got out, we bursted. I think this is a solid burst, a little over 50% health left. Um, I like the burst. Let's see what goes in afterwards. Is Yozansen burst into just H Gravedigger? I like the burst, but what you did after doesn't threaten much. So here's something like S Gravedigger, I think, might have been a little bit better. I think the strike hit of it would have been perhaps outside of the parry full animation range, and then you have the projectile follow-up. I don't know. Maybe S Gravedigger covers more. Because the H Gravedigger is just like covering one option here. Because you're clearly in an advantageous offensive position with your burst. You have your opponent in the corner. Even something like Far Slash might have been really strong here. Far Slash, 2H, or some other option might have yielded a stronger offensive posture. So we do the H Gravedigger, and Frankopotamus just recognizes that they're right outside the range, and the dash Far Slash just leads to them right outside the corner. We get the crouching hit, even though it looks like Frank buffered the 2H. Yeah. Cross up, that's just Oki situation. Oh, they weren't close enough for that combo. What was that 5K for? I'm gonna guess teleport. I'm gonna guess that 5K was teleport. The 5K was missed teleport. Cause I don't quite know why you'd be pressing 5K at that range. I don't know. There's a lot to pay attention to, and it seems like that's the best way to get out of the corner. And I think the teleport was a smart option here. Unfortunately, it didn't work out with a potential execution error. But with that, we're into the next round. That burst, because it happened, there was still like a decent amount of time left of the round. There's plenty of resource to build up. We're probably almost definitely going to be able to build burst here, failing only like really, really aggressive and powerful explosivity from Frank here. Round start. ID back H Gravedigger. Something that seems very conservative, and it sets up this sort of spacing that S Testament you really like. Like Far Slash is defending this range right here. Gravedigger just defends the ground. Just being able to like send out one Gravedigger, you just set it, forget it, and you wait for an air approach. Now I was just talking about how this spacing was so good. The spacing after the air H Gravedigger seems ideal for Testament. I don't think you need to approach at this range, because Testament can really set up in neutral. Testament can really set up in neutral and just play the patient game, while Baiken is really forced to get in. Because Baiken is hardly a threat outside of like just a little bit further than round start spacing with H Kabari, but even still, like Testament has this established zoning play with the S Gravedigger looping into like birds and just playing patiently. It's something that I see a lot of great Testament players like Bipaw, Romola, Kazam when they play Testament. Testament can set up a neutral and play the passive game. Baiken is the character that really needs to establish pressure so you can wait for their approach. That's big counter hit damage, or maybe not big, but counter hit damage. See, we're just setting up with a Gravedigger. So this is like just after this interaction, you do it really well. Just like playing at that range where Fire Slash is a threat, you have that slow Gravedigger stain on them. Because the stain is like a stop sign, and I feel like Testament really sort of leans into the control when stain is on the opponent. So being able to like set up the situation where even Unholy Diver is a threat enough is a good way to slow down the pace in Testament's favor. Each Gravedigger just outside of that 2H range. This is the pressure. Yeah, that's just a 50-50. Do or die moment with that burst. You had the stain pop, but didn't do anything after that. Far Slash, stain pop, but you didn't do anything after. I feel like you could have set up with another Gravedigger, force Arbiter sign, or even just use the block stun to approach slightly to generate more neutral advantage. So let's back up here. So he bursts it out right here. Stain is on them. Yeah, because like we force Frank to respond here. The Gravedigger's gonna come out, and they use Tatami Mat to break the Gravedigger, which is very smart in their own, but it allows Chroma to really approach here. And we get the Far Slash, Stain Pop. And we're not like moving forward. The Stain Pop happened, and then we backdash right away. We lost so much space, and we're already so much closer to the corner just because of that, even though it was essentially advantageous. We could have... Actually, let's back up a bit here. I'm looking at the tension meter. Yeah. Could have done like... Succubus Super. What is that? Nostrovia? Maybe Far Slash, Stain Pop... Buffer, Nostrovia. If you didn't end up building the tension, turn it into Gravedigger. So a situation like use Far Slash, buffer the Nostrovia really quickly, do like 236, 236. I believe it's P, 236, 236 P S. Like plink the P to the S and hold the S. I think that might have been, I think that's like an option select sort of situation that you can do in that right there, but you backed off right here. I think this was just maybe a little streamlined thinking into... Yeah. That was just maybe an autopilot. Could you have taken a little bit more time to establish long distance neutral? I don't think this is like terrible, the right into Unholy Diver, but normally it's like you think Unholy Diver after they block the Gravedigger, and here there was no blocked Gravedigger, so Unholy Diver was just like extremely raw dog, so you're not just like setting up and playing patient. And Frank just right outside that range, recognizing they're not in block stun, just getting right in with the humongous dash normal or air dash. Reversal super, do or die sort of moment. I'm not sure about that dash cancel. That dash cancel, you can do like Kara, Gravedigger. That stuff's really powerful. I don't know. Because that was good reactions by Frank for the throw tech at the very least. I feel like that dash cancel was unnecessary. I don't really need to make a note of it, I don't think. Round start, far slash. We played, what were our round starts? We did 2S and ID back J, jumping H Gravedigger. Frankopotamus has already established that they want to back off at neutral, so I think that was good thinking. Good round start. Frank already showed us that they want to back off at round start, so using the far slash to instigate was a good recognition. So we do far slash right into Gravedigger. Let's go back. Just think about it a little more. Far slash Gravedigger. Yeah. So because the Gravedigger hit, this is bringing up my the previous round. Because the Gravedigger at least was blocked, we have like that establishing stain throw with the Unholy Diver. Though I'm not sure we need to dash in here. Okay, it wasn't a full dash in. Actually, I think that was good. I was sort of expecting the full dash in, but this is actually really good. Should have just unpaused and let it rock. Just right into that far slash spacing. Dash up 2K using that privileged DLC. Good 6P. Really good 6P after the whiff 2K. I'm curious. I feel like you can get more of a setup after that. Get more to set up after 6P there. Maybe using S Gravedigger just as an establishing neutral idea. I don't know if this is necessarily the best thing, but something to maybe think about, because like 6P into H Gravedigger is like, okay, this cashed out on damage, but we're just back to neutral. There's nothing about it. But 6P into S Gravedigger, even if the S Gravedigger doesn't hit, maybe the alligator is like creeping along and hits them on the way up, or not an alligator, I guess it's the little skull. The skull is creeping along and hits them on the way up, or is just like a threat right there that you have to pay attention to, and Testament plays at their like far slash range and react with 6P. Following up with the S Gravedigger seemed very strong, but I'm just curious if you can do more. So we set up with the charge S Gravedigger. There's 6P H Gravedigger. What was the reason of that backdash? I guess you're trying to get out of like 2H or H Kabari range. I don't know, the backdash seems questionable. So you can like put out a 5K, put out a 5P, 6P, 2K. I don't know, but we're still back to neutral. Biken is up close. Fuzzy backdash. That was missed on Holy Diver. That whiffed 5P there. Yeah. I don't think the Unholy Diver would have been good anyway. with 5p was Unholy Diver. I don't think Crow would have been good here. You got punished for it earlier at around, I don't know, where is it in my notes? I'm checking my notes. I think it's 107. I'm not sure. I'm at 155 right now. Let's go back. Let's actually scroll back to it. Yeah, 107. There's that fuzzy backdash. Just jumping out. Yeah, missed Unholy Diver. Yeah. Just taking a second to hold your ground and not lean into stain unless it's almost completely guaranteed or full screen. Because Baiken specifically has very great IAD options that you need to be cognizant of. So we're already in the pressure, fuzzy jump out. That teleport worked, but was really scary. Teleport worked, but super scary. So I'm just gonna go back. We get that 2K2D, OTG. This is Testament Classic. I feel like you could have done something there. 5p, 6p. Air throw would have been awesome, but of course not everyone is ready for it. Might have been too high, not sure. Classic Baiken, use the backdash, JS. Having the tether on you is just super scary. I'm not sure I feel about that burst, but you have 50% tension. Next hit is like almost kill. Your slip back is to the corner though. Use your 50% just to not die. Good teleport. Good confirm. Unholy Diver checks the air. You're holding your ground, but there was no response to this air dash. So like we use the Unholy Diver, 2S. 225. Holding your ground well, but with a great 6p like Testament, you need to at least have IAD as one of the premier things to look out for. You blocked it, which is like great. But now you're up close and personal against Baiken. I guess you have almost 50% tension. This is just like last minute thinking. Fuzzy backdash finally getting punished. I'll make a note of that. You're doing a lot of fuzzy backdash. And it's finally punished here. Make sure to rotate your defensive options. And this is a terrible situation to be in because Baiken gets the free setups, and you're at such low life that even instant overhead Yozansen would just completely destroy you. Playing with stun really well, or stain. Failed anti-air, it looked like maybe. Classic Frank sequence, he does that a lot for some reason. That's just a player thing. It's a cute setup. Yeah, this is a Baiken round. because you did the last minute burst in the previous round, you're dying without it here. Maybe consider more long-term implications with your burst management. It's already 2 up for Frank. Round start. Far slash again. Great 6P. Doing it again. Now Frank has to respect the Gravedigger a little bit more. Ooh, held Unholy Diver. If that was a reaction, that was great. Oh, right into Nostrovia. Fantastic. Fantastic. It's like from 330. Very well structured offense the entire time through to the wall break. Would they have stain on them? Yeah, that's just getting got. That was the first parry that Frank does the entire time. Watching for the wake up. Super. Into Nostrovia? Hold on. What's the mind game here? That was... Okay, this is super cheeky. It worked out. I have no idea what's going through your mind here. Reversal Nostrovia sounds insane to me. And not even like in a good way. It works out. Frank goes for parry RC, but Frank has like no reason to think of parry RC at that point. Like I think Far Slash might have just beaten Nostrovia there. Backed off. Similar to when you went for the teleport, very beginning. That was good recognition. I think, what was Frank trying to do here? Another close slash? That was good recognition. Frank has done a lot of dash up throw. Keeping the corner. I like the idea. I like the idea to keep the corner with 50% tension on Baiken's side. Consider playing around parry more in this. My first thought is meaty Gravedigger or Nostrovia. Because those are projectiles. Like the meaty Gravedigger projectile version. That's -3, I think. 2H. It's just very slow to react, but so not a true punish. Frank messing up their setup. Last minute burst. Gun super gets the explosion. Frank not buffering RC. I wonder how teleport works with tether. Just curious. Yeah, I don't think... This is like at the end. This is like super scary. 508. This is just something I'm realizing at the end. But I don't think Frankopotamus ever did H Kabari follow-up on offense, on block. Keying into those habits will be very good for your set adaptation. But that's the end of it. There are a lot of great ideas here. I think in summation, like the idea is to be more patient in neutral. You don't have to throw Unholy Diver so frequently, and recognize your spacing next to your opponent so that you can really weigh your options in such a manner that will really lean into positive outcomes. So at like that round start like spacing, you have to pay attention to that 6p. It really worked out at the beginning of one of the rounds in that last game. I believe it was the first round of that last game. Just using those Gravediggers and not defaulting to Gravedigger, Unholy Diver, normal, Stain Pop, Gravedigger, Unholy Diver, normal. Uh, just being able to slow down the neutral in such a way and not really streamline into these habits that Testament really leans into. Otherwise, there's a lot of really great and promising ideas here, and I'm excited to see your growth, Chroma. Good luck with your practicing.